So, here's the deal. Meghan Markle's With Love, Meghan is making its way back onto Netflix on August 26th. Yes, that show. The one with spotless aprons, unopened books, and friends who look like they were recruited from a Craigslist ad titled Need Brunch Buddy, Zero Shame Required. But the real story here isn't Meghan. It's the man she used to share headlines with, Prince Harry. The Duke has been ghosted harder than your ex after a disastrous haircut. Netflix doesn't want him, not his face, not his pitches, not even a blink and you miss it cameo of him sweating in one of his 10 luxury saunas. He's out. Completely. And this isn't some flimsy tabloid rumor. Trusted inside sources, not the kind Meghan might dream up for a holiday card, say the streaming giant wants absolutely nothing to do with him. No documentaries, no polo specials, no My Sad Royal Life confessions filmed in a cold kitchen. This deal belongs to Meghan alone. And even then, Netflix's enthusiasm is wafer thin. Let's not pretend they didn't give it a shot. A few years back, Netflix threw serious money at the Sussexes, roughly $100 million worth of optimism. Now, that's reportedly been slashed to just $5 million, spread over 3 years. That's not just a downgrade, it's Hollywood's polite way of saying, please stop calling. Think about it. $5 million over 3 years is pocket change to Netflix. It wouldn't even cover a few minutes of Stranger Things. That says everything about how little faith they still have in the Markle brand. And here's the kicker. This isn't a comeback. It's a face-saving move. After going all in on the Sussex circus, Netflix is quietly backpedaling. And the only way to do that without admitting total failure? Throw together a Christmas special, call it a continuation, and pretend it was always the plan. No new season. No franchise revival. Just one lonely episode starring the Queen of Flower Sprinkles herself, with an alphabet soup of barely recognizable guests. Speaking of which, the guest list is something else. There's Jay Shetty, who probably thought he was signing up for a deep, thought-provoking podcast, not a shallow PR salad. There's Tan France, whose name sounds more like a travel update than a celebrity. Add in a few recycled faces from season 1, because clearly they've run out of people willing to appear, and you've got the saddest Christmas party since Kevin McAllister forgot his family. And yet, Meghan keeps smiling. That pageant-ready grin, peddling sprigs of lavender, and staged cooking in a house that isn't even hers. Honestly, there's something almost impressive about that level of dedication to the performance. Because, let's face it, no one's buying it. Season 1 was torn apart by critics. Viewers abandoned it faster than they cancel a free trial. And despite all the marketing noise, With Love, Meghan didn't even break into Netflix's top 300. Imagine being outperformed by Suits reruns from over a decade ago. The same show that launched Meghan's career back when she was just a working actress, instead of Montecito royalty with a suspicious love for garden herbs. And the most brutal blow of all? The show's been reduced to a Christmas special, the TV equivalent of being told your contract's renewed for one more meeting, without snacks. No season 3, no redemption arc, just one more painfully awkward hour of Meghan smiling at carefully selected fruit while pretending to cook for friends who were clearly paid to show up. And Harry? Don't even get started. He's been shoved aside like forgotten leftovers at the back of the royal fridge. His ideas have become so cringeworthy that even Spotify reportedly labeled him a grifter. And when a podcast platform, the literal home of empty noise, thinks your ideas are embarrassing, you know it's time to go quiet. Netflix knows exactly what it's doing. On the surface, this looks like a mercy deal. A pity invite to a dinner party where no one actually wants to sit next to the guest of honor. But look closer, and it's strategic. This isn't Netflix betting on a Meghan comeback. It's setting the stage for a Meghan rebrand. One that starts with this last-ditch solo act and ends with the most profitable media spectacle of the decade. The Royal Divorce Special. Let's be honest, the writing's on the palace walls. The power couple image is fading fast. The glow is gone. And behind the curated Instagram posts and candlelit voiceovers, there's tension. Real, career-stalling, industry whisper tension. The media can smell it. Netflix can smell it. And if Meghan's just vibing in the kitchen content is any indication, she smells it too. That's why this new deal is a disguised trapdoor. It's not about creative freedom or redemption. It's about positioning. When that divorce happens, And for half of Hollywood, it's when, not if. Netflix wants to be first in line to cash in. Picture it. Meghan, My Story. Oprah-level sit-downs with exclusive confessions and cinematic tear wipes, tell-all documentaries, perfectly curated soundtracks, sobbing montages, maybe even a book deal so massive it makes Spare look like a free Kindle sample. That's why Netflix is cutting Harry out now, keeping the narrative clean. No awkward joint footage, no mixed storylines, no visible marital tension to spoil the emotional payoff. Harry has been branded as dead weight. Not just irrelevant, but miserable, dull, and out of touch. He couldn't even sell a second Invictus documentary without groans. His polo pitch? Laughed out of every meeting. And his I have feelings ideas? No one's buying. The last thing Netflix wants is a billionaire wandering around his Montecito estate, whining about climate change from the back of a Range Rover. And it's not just bad content. It's optics. Harry's entire image has shifted from royal rebel to sad sack in a sauna. No one wants to market a man whose most gripping story is being too cold in his mansion or too hot in his private spa. He had the chance to be a global icon, and reduced it to knitwear complaints and lukewarm memoir sales. Meanwhile, Meghan is staying just relevant enough to keep her seat at the table. She knows how to pivot. The show may be fake, the friends may be rented, and the aprons might still have the tags on, but it's content. And content sells, even when it's bad. Especially when it's bad. Cringe gets clicks, and Meghan is nothing if not clickbait with perfect lighting. So here's the plan. Netflix is keeping Meghan just warm enough to justify the next phase. Give her a Christmas special. A little red bow on top of a half-baked casserole of staged domestic bliss. Harmless. Forgettable. Perfectly placed so that when the separation happens and Meghan inevitably tells her side, it won't be on Spotify, Apple TV, or some blog. It'll be on Netflix in 4K, complete with dramatic piano music and long reflective window gazes. That's the real move. They're simply waiting for her to drop the H. And when she does, the cameras will already be rolling. Every empire eventually falls. And this one, the glossy, flower-sprinkled Montecito-made empire of Harry and Meghan, is already halfway buried under its own hype. The Netflix deal that once promised a $100 million media dynasty has withered into a $5 million sympathy offering. Meghan's brand is stumbling, Harry's has flatlined, and all the high-profile allies who once circled their fame, gone. Oprah, the neighbor who gave them the interview that shook Buckingham Palace, is nowhere to be seen. She didn't show up for the latest project. No quotes. No social media likes. The Obamas, once touted as ideological soulmates, but haven't been spotted near them since the last election confetti fell. George and Amal Clooney? Silent. Gwyneth Paltrow? She openly parodied Meghan's cooking show, before making a hostage-style cameo to pretend everything was fine. Even the celebrity guests for this New With Love Meghan special seem scraped from a who's still answering calls list. This isn't an A-list, it's a scramble. Chrissy Teigen, famous for all the wrong reasons, is one of the headliners. Jay Shetty, his main claim is having a podcast. The rest feel like last-minute additions to a holiday potluck. You don't need to know the names, you just need to believe they're important. That's the Markle method. The real giveaway isn't only the downgraded contract or the recycled guest list, it's the content itself. It's the content itself. A reality light show staged around fake meals in a fake kitchen with fake friends and fake laughs. Aprons spotless. Vegetables too perfect. Smiles too wide. No pulse. No edge. Just endless soft lighting and lifeless montages. If critics ripped apart the first season, this second round is a regifted fruitcake. Dry, predictable, and unwanted. And through it all, Meghan smiles. That same practiced grin. The smile of someone who knows this isn't about the present. It's about the pivot. She doesn't need this show to succeed. She just needs it to exist. To be on record when the inevitable split becomes public. Because when that day comes, the real gold rush begins. Somewhere in a Netflix folder right now, there's a media blueprint titled Meghan, My Story. It's not confirmed. It doesn't have to be. Everyone knows it's coming. The moment the divorce is official, Meghan becomes a solo act again, with the narrative entirely in her control. The victim, the survivor, the misunderstood visionary. And that story will sell. Big. She'll have her pick of publishers. HarperCollins, owned by Rupert Murdoch, will likely lead the race. Murdoch, billionaire, newly single, and notoriously competitive, might just bankroll the whole thing with a wink. The TV rights? Netflix already has the inside track. And that's the real reason they're still here. This isn't about flower sprinkles or lavender towels. It's about locking in the most profitable celebrity meltdown since Brad and Angelina. As for Harry, he won't just lose the mansion and the sauna privileges. He'll lose the narrative. If Meghan speaks first, she frames the story. And Harry? He becomes the side note in her rise. The grumpy ex who didn't get it. The man who walked away from royalty and ended up wandering the California hills with a half-empty smoothie and no brand to his name. Netflix isn't sticking with Meghan because she's thriving. They're sticking with her because they know what's coming. And when it does, they'll already be rolling credits. Executive producer, Karma.